Welcome to the show. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is a show we call the Farzy Show. It's presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Hey, everybody. Welcome. That sucked. I really thought they were going to do it before the game. I thought they were going to do it when they were down 16 points in the second quarter and then cut it to only a 7-point deficit at halftime. And then they went into the fourth quarter up 2 points. I really thought they were going to do it. I didn't lose faith at halftime. I didn't lose faith when they were down 16 points. I thought, here we go. I did have one major problem, though. As much as I have lavished praise on PJ Tucker over the last week, as much as I have sung his praises, I have no idea what the hell he was doing shooting so many corner threes. PJ Tucker, and I've talked about this type of shooter, PJ Tucker is not the type of shooter that I've talked about, where I've talked about the guy that can be unconscious. I talked about the guy that just doesn't give a damn. The next one's going in, that type of shooter. Like, he's not a J.J. Redick. He's certainly not a James Harden. He's not like that as a shooter. If you get a couple corner threes from P.J. Tucker, that's gravy. That's extra. That's house money. He hit the first one, and it was the only Sixers points for like 5 minutes, which was terrible. And then he didn't hit another one. And there was one possession, I believe it was in early goals in that fourth quarter, that they just kept feeding him. P.J. Tucker is not a sharpshooter. Why did you continuously feed? And I give credit to Doc Rivers because he smelled this. He sniffed this out. And he goes, all right, the P.J. Tucker thing in the corner three, I can't do that right now. George Niang go in. George Niang hits a big three, pulls you within 2 points, 62-60 in that third quarter. And the Sixers were really starting to make their run. And then P.J. Tucker just kept shooting, and I'm like, no, stop with the P.J. Tucker stuff. Stop. And then I don't know what happened the rest of the way with the fourth quarter. I don't know if it was the Sixers running out of gas. I don't know if it was the Sixers forgot that Joel Embiid is the MVP of the league, and he's still on their team, and he's actually getting healthier. They decided not to give him the basketball. I don't know what the hell that was. But I give credit to Joel Embiid because I thought he summed it up rather nicely after the game. We'll let you hear it from the horse's mouth himself. He didn't touch the ball on the final 4 minutes of the game. He got one shot. He was a little off. He got one shot with about 3:40 left in the game, and he missed it. But for the Sixers to play the way they did as this game went on, as my phone goes off, it's absolutely bonkers to me that Joel Embiid didn't get more looks, didn't get more touches, didn't get more of an opportunity as this game was winding down, and they were terrible. The other part of it is that you weren't stopping Jason Tatum in the fourth quarter. And if you go back to game 2, when Jason Tatum only had 4 points, and he had 4 fouls, and the Sixers were down 13 points, I remember tweeting, putting it out there, saying, get Tatum out of the game. Drive on him. If he doesn't foul you, you have an easy layup, and you weren't hitting anything from the outside, so the obvious thing to do was drive on him. And people were like, oh, Jason Tatum sucks in this game. It doesn't matter. Yeah, do you really want him in the fourth quarter? It ended up not being a factor because the Sixers ended up getting blown out. But this is the type of fourth quarter that Jason Tatum can have. 16 points. Let's put it in perspective. He had 19 points in the game. 16 of them came in the fourth quarter. The Sixers scored 13 points in the fourth quarter. Jason Tatum won the fourth quarter single-handedly, 16-13. So that's not good. That is very much no bueno. I don't know what the hell happened. I mean, I saw it. I watched it. I know what happened. I just don't know how it happened. And Doris Burke, with 90 seconds left in the game, I give her credit because she called it as she saw it. Embiid, Harden in a 7-point game at that point, 9-point game at that point. She goes, why are they walking down the other end of the court? Like, this game isn't over. You get a couple of threes, you get a couple of bounces, all of a sudden things are going your way. And I saw the same thing. I don't know why the hell that was going on, but my only thought was, I kind of know. If I know it, then the Sixers probably know, but they're playing in the game, so their attitude should be a little bit different. But Tatum's on fire in the fourth quarter. You're not beating him. 4 fourth quarter threes from Jason Tatum. I don't know. Very frustrating. I thought last night was their opportunity. I thought last night was them cracking the code. You guys know how I felt about it. I said that Joel Embiid is not going to miss this opportunity to close things out at home. But why not make things more dramatic and have to go to Boston? Which, by the way, spoiler, I'm not confident. Maybe it was part of me just trying to protect myself. Maybe I thought I was ready to get hurt again, but maybe it looks like I'm not ready to get hurt again. To drag this series out to 7 games now and have to go to what I think will be another Game 7 loss for the Joel Embiid 76ers is a really tough pill to swallow. And I physically felt pain as I was watching this game wind down in the last 6 minutes of that fourth quarter, where Joel Embiid, by the way, Joel Embiid at the 6:13 mark of the fourth quarter, he hit a 15-foot jump shot that tied the game 81-81. Tatum had already started his run. He just came off a couple of free throws. He knocked down a couple of free throws. The Celtics went up in that instance 81-79, and then Joel Embiid hit a jumper at 6:13 of the fourth quarter. After that, the 76ers beep boop bop beep boop boop bop hit one more field goal. And it was by Jaden Springer, who was getting I don't even want to say it, but yeah, garbage time. Look, at any point in the game, you can't be down 16 points. I felt like with the way that they played, as bad as they shot in that game, in that half, I should say, to only be down 7 was a big win because I didn't feel like they were going to continuously play that bad. And they didn't in the third quarter, but they returned to it in the fourth quarter, especially in the final 6 minutes. They went through scoring 3 points in the first 5 minutes and 30 seconds of the game. And then to only score, what was it, a total of, including foul shots, I think 6 points, maybe 8 points in the final 6 minutes of the game. That's just dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. And again, I love PJ Tucker, but there's no way he should be shooting 7 threes in a game. And I felt like, especially in the first half, it cost him. I felt like at that one possession in the early goings of the third quarter, I think it was, he shouldn't be getting multiple opportunities to shoot those threes. And I know that good shooters are supposed to just have that mentality of, this would clank, but the next one, swish, I'm telling you. And I just didn't feel it last night for PJ Tucker. He had 2 threes total in the game in the 7 attempts. Percentage-wise, that's not terrible for a guy like PJ Tucker. But I just don't think he should get that many opportunities. And I thought that the Jordan Yang substitution was overdue when he finally was able to get into the ball game for PJ Tucker. Sixers lost a lot of rhythm in this game, and there was one quarter, and that was the third quarter, where they really showed that they had some good momentum. You had a great hustle play by Joel Embiid under the basket, saved the basketball, gave it to Tobias Harris, I believe it was. They brought it up in transition. They were able to get points out of it. There were a number of occasions where Tobias Harris had great hands in this, forcing turnovers. Had one on Jaylen Brown, really picked his pocket. Tyrese Maxey, I think it was Jaylen Brown, top of the key, picked his pocket. And the Sixers were able to get points off those turnovers. The Celtics had 18 total turnovers in this game. And as the game was winding down, I'm thinking, they took away a turnover for the Celtics. They only had 17 turnovers. But at one point, I looked at it, and they were credited with 18 turnovers. I thought, if this is a situation where they're giving you 18 turnovers, if you're taking the basketball away 18 times, whatever you want to call it, you should be up by at least 10. You should be converting those into points. They're giving you those opportunities. Not only are they giving you those opportunities, they're denying themselves of an opportunity. I mean, it's an obvious thing. It's why the turnover differential in every sport, is such a big deal. And I can't, for the life of me, if you would have told me the Celtics were going to turn the basketball over 17 times, I would be like, oh, well, God, let the Sixers win. The Sixers, I felt like were playing their best brand of basketball going into this game. They were at home, obviously, going into this game. We knew that. And you need to tell me they're going to spot you 17 possessions? And you don't capitalize on that with a decisive, series-clinching Game 6 victory? Well, then I would say that there's no hope for Game 7. And that's how I feel right now. I don't feel like there's any hope for Game 7. I am back to where I was before Game 4. That's where I'm at right now. Winning Game 4 felt great. Winning Game 5 felt great. Even better. Losing Game 6, back in the dumps. It's over. That's how I feel. What is it, 3:30 start time on Mother's Day? Phillies play around that same time. It'll be a good time. Should be a good time. It's going to be a great time. I don't know how you guys felt about it. I mean, obviously, I'm sure a lot of these guys are disappointed. I know I'm disappointed. Make sure you guys hit me up in the chat there on the Jacob Media YouTube channel, as well as the Farzy Show YouTube channel as well. And we can all just get in the feels. We can all just get in the feels with how we're feeling about this particular game, because it is it's a rough one. It's definitely a rough one. So let's all get through it together. Some other things that we're going to get into on today's show is Sean Desai. We finally met Sean Desai, the Eagles defensive coordinator. He addressed the media yesterday about a 20-minute press conference. Watched the whole thing, and there's some interesting takeaways that we'll highlight coming up in a little bit on this show. And we also saw the Eagles schedule. Before I got to get to the schedule now. I can't wait. I need to get off the Sixers for a second here. Here is the Sixers or the Eagles schedule. It was released yesterday, last night, 8:00. So while we're watching the Sixers, this dropped. Week 10 is their bye. And one thing on this schedule I feel should be insanely illegal. And I think the fact that it is a team coming off a Super Bowl appearance, so a reigning conference champion, the fact that they have to start out their season on the road against New England and then play again 4 days later at home against Minnesota, there's no way, in shape or form, that a reigning conference champion should have to start their season with 2 games in 4 days. That is insane to me. And I think that is complete BS by the National Football League. And when I saw, like, you look at the schedule and like usually you're like, okay, I'll get to week 5, week 6, and then maybe you'll have a problem. Week 1 and 2 for the Eagles to start their season 4 days apart. Oh, well, they have 11 days after that to get. I don't give a damn. Starting out their season with 2 games in 4 days is unbelievable. They got like 5 primetime games, so we're going to be having some late days. And then let's count them here. What do they have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 national games? Is that even, now is that legal? I don't know. That's bonkers. They got a lot of games there. So it's going to be interesting in that regard, certainly. I just can't wait for the season to start, especially with what's going down here with this with the Sixers basketball team. See, try to get off it, can't get off it. That's the Eagles schedule for you right there, folks. That's the first thing that jumped out to me. Then you look at late in the season there, 16, 17. They're home for those 2 games on Christmas. We knew about the Christmas game. They're home against the Cardinals, so that's where we'll see Jonathan Gannon return to Lincoln Financial Field. Big deal. And we knew about their matchup with the 49ers yesterday. We knew about that already. December 3rd, they're hosting the Niners again. Javon Hargrave makes his return. Blah, 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 bloobity, blah. Josh Allen comes to Philly the day before that. And they do visit the Kansas City Chiefs in Week 11. That is November 20th kickoff for an 8:15 start time. So there you go. There you go. That's the Eagle schedule right there. I'm sure it gets all you guys in the fields. All right. Before we get to Sean Desai and those guys, I rarely hear basketball players talk about this, but I feel like more often than not, it actually comes down to it, and it's made shots. And the Sixers going ice cold late in the game and getting open looks. on those missing those open looks. That's what I think was the nail in the coffin for the Sixers, and that's why I don't think they were able to capitalize on as many turnovers as they should have. Overall, just a very frustrating game, but James Harden trying to sum it up for everybody post-game.
We didn't make shots, and they did. It's a simple game. Like, it wasn't a high-scoring game, possession by possession. Going off the top of my head, we had a lot of open shots that we just didn't make, and they made a couple more. Like, if you make those shots, then it's a different ballgame. It's pretty simple.
How much of a miss? I mean, it's obviously a missed opportunity. How frustrating is it?
It's frustrating, but, we got to go through this team. This is a really good team. So we know how tough they are. We got to put them away. We had a number of opportunities. We didn't do it tonight. So we get one more crack at it whenever we play.
How do you?
Missed shots were definitely a huge part of it, unfortunately. You obviously had PJ Tucker with his struggles in this game. Looking down, James Harden himself was 0 for 6. I know a lot of people looked at that. Another disappearing act by James Harden, only coming up with 13 points. But when you had Maxey pick up the scoring in that regard, I thought that was going to be a bigger deal. A guy that I have given a lot of credit to in this series, and Toby on the spot was not Toby on the spot when it came to scoring last night. That certainly hurt the team. And it really, other than the turnover factor for the Celtics, and you see Tatum held to under 20 points again, if you just glance at the box score after the game, it looks like a loss. Because Embiid doesn't go over 30 points. Nobody else for the Sixers goes over 30 points. Really, you had 3 guys finish in double figures in scoring. That's it. That's not a balanced enough attack if you're the Sixers. That's not how you have won the vast majority of your games this season. You usually have at least 2 guys going off. And I wouldn't call 26 points and 26 points and nobody else eclipsing the 20-point mark necessarily is going off on this team. And you've gotten other performances where you get like 15 from Tobias Harris or you get another 20-point performance from James Harden, but really nothing was going on for this Sixers squad. It was really rough to watch, especially down the stretch. And I think I look at PJ Tucker in 2 for 7. Hey, it's a better shooting night than James Harden, but 2 for 7 with James Harden sits a lot better than 2 for 7 with PJ Tucker for whatever dumb reason. Absolutely frustrating. Joel Embiid, after the game, talked about the final 6 minutes of the fourth quarter and what really hurt the Sixers' chances in this one. Check this out.
Get ready for Sunday.
I mean, we know what we gotta do. We've gone on the road. We've won. It's not gonna be easy in that environment, but same thing. Gotta go.
Damn it, wrong one. This is him talking about the final 6 minutes.
I think it was 3 things. We had a lot of wide open shots. We didn't make them. We stopped moving the ball.
Yep, they definitely stopped moving the ball. Let's try that one more time here.
I think it was 3 things. We had a lot of wide open shots. We didn't make them. We stopped moving the ball. And I don't think I touched the ball the last 4 minutes of the game. Like I said, missed a lot of good looks. I didn't touch the ball at all.
Can we talk about?
He says it's tough for a big. He goes on to say it's tough for a big to go get the ball. He's got to rely on his point guards or his guards in general. He's got to worry about the guys and rely on the guys to feed him the basketball. I don't really. I think we're done with the idea of Al Horford being a factor in all of this. I think we're 1,000% done with the idea of Al Horford being a big deal. So why Joel Embiid didn't get the basketball later, I don't know. And when you were having an off shooting night with a lot of these guys having the off shooting night that they were, I am baffled that they didn't find the big man more often, especially in that fourth quarter, man. It's so unbelievably rough. This is a tough one because I feel like now we're at the point we look at the last 350 days, whatever, since the last time they were bounced out in the second round. And now we got to go into another game 7 as they had against the Hawks, as they have against the Raptors. Now you got to go into another Game 7 in this era of basketball and await the fate. I'm talking like it's over because I think it's over. I should have never doubted the Celtics as I did going into this Game 6. I should have, hey, they're the better team. They're going to give everything they can against the Sixers, and boy, did they. And here we are. Finally, here is Joel Embiid one last time talking about what needs to be done, and he is aware of the challenge that awaits them up in Boston.
Get ready for Sunday.
I mean, we know what we gotta do. We've gone on the road. We've won. It's not gonna be easy in that environment, but same thing. Got a good start, better than we were tonight, and everybody has to step up. Starting with me. I gotta, I guess I gotta be more aggressive and as far as shooting and making sure I get my teammates open looks and everybody else has to do their job and everybody has to show up. So, but it's gonna be fun. Game 7, that's why you play. For those type of games. And tonight was pretty tough, but we know how much we could have been better. Missed a lot of good opportunities, especially going into the fourth up too. They made a lot of tough shots, and but that's the name of the game.
Yeah, that's the name of the game. I'm seeing in the chat the term "do or die," in Game 7 and all that stuff, and all that. I really felt like they had this game. It's just if the game would have never changed from being down 16 points, right? If the Celtics would have picked up the third quarter continuously knocking down shots and got Jason Tatum going then and really started to put the Sixers away and it was a blowout, that almost would have felt better. It almost would have felt better than the Sixers fighting back from down 16, taking a 5-point lead, finally hitting their shots, getting rebounds, getting turnovers, making defensive stops, making the Celtics look silly at certain times, like the play I referenced earlier with Tyrese Maxey on Jaylen Brown just picking his pocket. Like all that. If that didn't happen, I would have felt better today. But the fact that they got back into this game, down 16, they didn't quit. They fought back. They hit some big shots. The big man got things going. George Niang hit that clutch corner 3, make it 62-60 in third. And then they really started, cooking after that. And they go into the fourth quarter up 2 points. And I'm watching it unfold, and I'm going, wow, they got it. Here we go. This is it. This is the moment. And I'm like, Harden hasn't even got it going yet. Well, he never got it going. And I think he's not just talking about PJ Tucker and the amount of shots and opportunities he had from three. He's also talking about his own opportunities, being up 6 going 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. That's certainly something that I think he was referencing as well. And he's referencing the foul calls, and I'm done with it as far as that goes. I mean, not everyone is going to get the calls. James Harden highlighted the stat that he has the most fouls on him that aren't called. Did you follow that? So he's the player in the NBA who has the most missed foul calls. He gets fouled all the time, but they don't call it. That's what he's saying is all. It was, the only line worth talking about from Godfather 3, It's the, just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in. That. The only thing is, just when I thought I was in, they pushed me back out. That's what the Sixers did to me. That's what they did to all of us. Really thinking they were going to close it out at home. Shame. 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 You know what we do? We open ourselves up to get hurt again. It's the old meme. It's the old GIF. It's the old whatever it is. I'm ready to get hurt again. And here I am. Sitting here on a Friday morning, looking forward to a beautiful Mother's Day weekend. Steven Singer Driller. Looking forward to a beautiful weekend. I'm honoring Mom, honoring Eleanor, honoring my wife, the mother of my children. And And the Sixers had, I believe, the kid Dookie. Go Dookie. They went Dookie. That's what happened. The Sixers Dookied on it. That's what just happened. Speaking of gifts for Mother's Day, Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, perfect price. Online at IHateStevenSinger.com. That's IHateStevenSinger.com. Fuji, I think the Godfather toy got lost in the move. I don't think it's... Yep, no, not in here. Not in here. You have to find it. It's somewheres. It's somewheres. Yeah, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Still? Yeah, whatever. Let me talk to you guys about Sean Desai. Overall, my impressions, and this is a guy that I have been really wanting to see and getting to know, and I've been asking a lot of questions, and no one has any other good answers other than, oh, Sean Desai, he's Vic Fangio disciple. Thank you. Sean Desai is going to be a lot like Jonathan Gannon in philosophy because that's why the Eagles hired him. Great. Anything else? No, not really. Okay, cool. Thanks. Not a lot of information about Sean Desai. So finally, he addresses the media yesterday, and it's the first time we get a chance to really listen to the guy. And I said it was an 18-minute press conference. Impressed, as impressed as you could be with an introductory press conference. Okay, I thought he nailed it. There was one line in particular that, like, make no mistake about it. These guys sit down with either Nick Sirianni or Howie Roseman, and these guys are guys that love to be prepared. Okay, these are NFL coaches, coordinators, whatever you want to call them. These guys want to be prepared. They don't want to ever be caught, in any situation that they're not ready for. So I would assume, even if he didn't flat out say, hey, what do people want to hear? I would assume Nick Sirianni, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, whoever would say, hey, look, here's the deal. Here's what they always said about Jonathan Gannon. Here's the way to make everyone love you immediately. Tell them you're going to be aggressive. Tell them you want the team, your defense, to reflect the spirit and mentality and attitude of the city. And do that, and you will be loved. So what happened yesterday? Sean Desai said just that. Here is what Sean Desai had to say about his defense and the style and what it's going to look like.
There's a certain mentality that we want to reflect. And I really believe in the city's teams got to reflect the city. And we've got some grit. We've got some toughness. We want to be able to impose our will. We're not going to take really anything from anybody. And we want to make sure that people feel us. We want to be able to run. We want to be able to hit. And we want to play smart. And I think that's a reflection of who we are. Obviously, as a Philadelphia Eagles defense, a reflection of really the history of the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and a reflection of the city. And that's what we want to be. We want to be an encompassing part of that. And one thing I told the team, was it maybe last week at the end of meetings on Thursday, was I asked them if they knew what the word palpable meant. You guys know? Yeah, right? I mean, it's feeling you. And that's what we want. We want to be able to be felt, whether you're watching us on TV, whether you're in the stadium, and obviously on the field. We want to make sure people feel this Philadelphia Eagles defense.
Oh, boy. Sold. Sean Desai selling an entire city and his scheme, his philosophy. He wants it to be gritty. He wants it to be felt and palpable. That's how you start it off, man. That's how you light the fires and kick the tires, if you're asking me. That's the way you start a career as a defensive coordinator in Philadelphia. And look, I am rooting for Sean Desai in a major way. I'm rooting for him because obviously if he does really well, then the Eagles defense does really well. And then if they do really well, the chances are the Eagles are going to do really well and maybe go back to the Super Bowl. So that'll be fun. The other thing is if he does really well and maybe 1 year as a defensive coordinator, he gets hired as a head coach somewhere else after this year, Eagles get compensatory picks. That sounds good too, right? I thought he nailed it. Thought he absolutely nailed it. One other thing he got into here is the word culture. And this is what a lot of people got into when it came to the culture of the Philadelphia Eagles and their hiring process with Sean Desai.
I will say this. It was the most thorough process I've ever been a part of. And I say that because I think that's a credit to the people in this organization and the way they don't let anybody come into this culture that doesn't fit it. And that's, from Mr. Lurie to Howie to Nick. And I appreciate the thoroughness and the detail because that's kind of some things I pride myself on, and being upfront, being detailed, being thorough. And so that was a real good connection that I thought we built from the beginning, and I enjoyed going through that process.
Good for you. Welcome aboard. Culture's great. Howie, Jeffrey Lurie, Nick Sirianni, they all put you under the microscope, I'm sure. And it's nice to hear a guy that's been around for a minute going through a process that is quite in-depth, most thorough process you can go through. Let me tell you about Manscaped, the great people at Manscaped, manscaped.com, the leader in below-the-waist grooming. Check out manscaped.com, ladies and gentlemen. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. You'll love their Platinum Package 4.0, which includes their Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, as well as their Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. And they both come with skin-safe technology that helps you reduce the risk of nicks so you can manscape with confidence and comfort. So check out manscaped.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off and free shipping. How about Freestone Farm CBD? FreestoneFarmCBD.com. You'll love their tropical tasting Bayox that clocks into the chart topping 24.1%. And Super CBD, which is half Hindu, Kush, and 21%. Generics of these guys are off the charts. So ladies and gentlemen, treat yourself. Little Freestone Farm CBD. Great to wind down after a workout. Great to wind down after a long day. Check out Freestone Farm CBD at FreestoneFarmCBD.com. Use promo code Farzy for 20% off. How about PHL Sports Nation, Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience across all social media and blogs. That's PHLSportsNation.com. Let's get to the chat check and see how you guys are feeling on this fine morning. I'm going to start it off on the Farzy Show YouTube channel, then go over to the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Started off right here with Sean Kilrain. Good morning, Sean. Fatal, maybe? What's going on? Good morning to you, Sean Kilrain. Hello again. All I have to say is Tobias Harris is a big letdown. We have to cut our losses. You agree? I think after this year, you do. And actually, last night, we had some company at the house, right? My buddy Jarrett was hanging out at the house, which was great. And we're watching the game. And I think it has been since I've been to a basketball game, which is my buddy Bennett, who I reference often on the show. It's been probably since the last game I went to, which was months ago, that I actually sat and watched the game with somebody that is just so invested only as a fan. And I say that as a compliment. He was going nuts, man. He was going nuts over Tobias. He asked me the same question. Do you think Tobias Harris has to go? I was like, you know what's crazy? I love Tobias Harris, but he's got to go. I totally agree. But I think there's some things that have to happen. If James Harden stays here, if James Harden decides this run is enough to convince him that he can win here next year, then you're going to have to let Tobias Harris go, try to free up some money, and pay James Harden. And it's going to be a 3-year deal, probably. And you're going to have to make some money somehow magically and pay James Harden. Maybe not this year, but money deferred to next year after contracts run out, all that stuff. So I think that's going to be part of it. And then not only do you pay James Harden with that, but you also have to replace some rebounds and, 10, 15 points a game. And that shouldn't be that hard to do to make it up in the aggregate, as they say in Moneyball. So yeah, I'm done with Tobias Harris. And last night, coming away with, what was his final point total? 2 points? 2 points. That's terrible. That's terrible. Yeah. So I agree as far as that goes with Tobias Harris there, Sean Kilrain. Go Sixers. That's exactly what happened in my childhood. What happened in your childhood? Sean Gillespie, good morning, all. Amazing opportunity blown by the Sixers. No killer instinct. It certainly felt like that. I was waiting for the shoe to drop in this game. I was waiting for the big moment in this game. By the way, what the hell am I doing here? I can do the thing here with the thing and the other thing. What am I on here? I think this is, I don't know if this is the Farzy Show YouTube channel. What the hell I'm looking at here? I think this is Farzy Show. Yeah, I can put Farzy Show up here, so I'll do that. Where are we at here? Sean Kilrain, hello again. Harden post comments show me loser mentality. Yes, you got fouled and they aren't called. You agree? Yes, I agree. I hate whenever anybody talks about officiating. The officiating was really weird in this game. redo. Like there was a do-over in this game where they gave the foul shots on the technical foul on the clear path foul. That was it on Tatum? No, it was on it was on Tatum. They stole it from Jaylen Brown, I think it was, and Maxey was the one that created the play. He was fouled. Embiid shot the foul shot, shot the text. And I thought, I didn't know they could do that, but okay. And then they play for a little bit, and then there's a stoppage, and then they go back and be like, oh, sorry, that didn't happen. Maxey, we're going to go back. Maxey, you shoot the free throws because you have to shoot the free throws. So that was weird. The officiating was weird in this game, and I didn't think it was particularly great. I didn't think it was even, but whatever. If you're a player, I appreciate that he talked about the missed shots, but highlighting the idea that you were fouled and you're fouled more than anybody in the league and it's not called, I think that is a loser mentality. I hate that. I think it's 100% ownership or bust. 100% ownership or bust. And unfortunately with this Sixers team, I think it's bust. So, Sean, I agree with you on right there. Sean Kilrain, our schedule, no one likes us, is basically how you put it, Farzy. Yep, pretty much. I can't get over it. A reigning conference champion, Super Bowl appearance, 2 games in 4 days. Ridiculous. Fatal, what's up, Fatal? Do you think this Game 7 is do or die for Doc? After this year, I believe he still has 2 years left on the contract. And for me, it is. I'll tell you right now, for me, it is. But I don't know if he has finally found a way to hit it off with these players and get on the same page with these players. I don't know. For me, it is. But if you're asking me the prediction, I don't know. If you're asking me what I would do, bye-bye, Doc. Which sucks because I thought he's had a really good year. I've told you guys many times. The only, I think, glaring blemish on his coaching record this season has been Tyrese Maxey coming off the bench for whatever it is, 20, 30 games. That was terrible. That was a terrible idea by Doc Rivers. But you know what else would be a terrible blemish? Having all the experience that he has as a head coach in the NBA and getting outdone by Joe Mazzulla. That would be pretty terrible for Doc Rivers. And I also think that's pretty indefensible. One thing you should clearly have the coaching edge in is a series against Joe Mazzulla. And he didn't have the coaching edge so far. Joe Mazzulla's made adjustments. They adjusted their starting lineup yesterday. They went with double bigs, which is something that Joel Embiid said didn't really bother him. But hey, look, they won the game. So what do you want in that regard? I don't think it's do or die for. I don't think it's going to be do or die for Doc. If you're asking me what I would do, he's gone. My prediction, I don't think he's gone. Prediction, I don't think he's gone. What I would do, he's gone. Sean Gillespie wants to answer it. Do or die for the entire team and coach. Do or die. They lose this game. Your Harden's gone. You're trading Embiid. Tobias is out. This is the Tyrese Maxey era of the Philadelphia 76ers all of a sudden. That might be slightly over dramatic. What's up, Fuji? Happy Friday. Good weekend, Mark and Peeps. Thank God the Eagles schedule is out. 2 games in 4 to 5 days is a joke. And the joke is not funny. Yes, Fado, I know what you mean. He does get fired. Does he get fired? I don't think so. Lincoln's Hawk. Great name. It's over. Flip a switch. So it's different. Anyway, turn the hat around. Flip a switch. The momentum shifted after that stupid redo of the free throw. I agree. I've never seen that before. We beat ourselves in the fourth quarter, hands down, no excuses. Certainly beat yourselves in the last 6 minutes of that game, but Jason Tatum also beat you too there, Fuji. Sean Gillespie, don't encourage my crappy impressions, Sean, please. There's Fuji asking where the Godfather toy is. I don't know. K Raleigh X26. If Embiid doesn't put up 50 points next game, they lose. That simple. I hope he gets the opportunity to put up 50 points. If you're not feeding the beast, he ain't going to get 50 points. And I love one thing. It annoyed me. It didn't infuriate me by any means, But Joel Embiid saying after the game, it's tough as a big to go get the ball. What? I have never heard an MVP say, well, it's tough to get the ball. First off, your teammates should be looking for you no matter what. And second, how many times do we see Joel Embiid at the top of the key? How many times do we see him on the perimeter, foul line extended? Yeah, you could go get the ball, JoJo. You could go get the ball. I know spacing was a bit of an issue last night for the Sixers, and that's something I think Doc Rivers has to figure out. But, man, I don't want to hear from the MVP of the league it's tough to get the basketball for two reasons. One, that he's not going and getting it. And the other, that his teammates aren't looking for him. We're damn ridiculous. So now you guys can see. Just the teep. Come on, everybody. We all know when the Sixers team has their backs against the wall, that's when they play the best. Total confidence in Doc. Lizzo is warming up in Boston? What? Oh, how dare you? You know, I didn't even know about that the PK Subban character. I didn't even know about him saying that, some guys are eating a Lizzo-sized lunch. Don't you be talking about my girl, Lizzo, my dream woman? Don't you dare. How dare you? How dare you, sir? How dare you, just the teep? Sean Kilray, Desai is definitely no Gannon. Looking to see how he does. I'll tell you what, he's off to a better start. He crushed his opening press conference. Mihai Sanchez, morning all. I don't know if I want to bother with Game 7. At least the Eagles schedule is out. The Phillies are 2 games out of a wild card. Harden is a letdown. Harris can't do anything. Bye, Glenn. Mihai, I give you so much credit, man. You really put a lot into your comments. Like in terms of you pack a lot into a little comment bubble. And I enjoy that. Oh, wait. Hold on. I spoke too soon. You have another comment bubble. 3 1 p.m. games for the Eagles is terrible. Tired of too many primetime games. Football is meant to be played at 1 o'clock. Yeah, not a lot of sleep for us this football season. Say that. Sammy! Win 3 in Boston, even sweeter. Ooh, Sammy. I hope. Oh, it's adorable. Adorable kid there. Win 3, I hope so. Just a teep. What's up? Wells Fargo Center has to go. Building of losers, no titles. Build a new age spectrum. The building is cursed. What do we? The Soul won, right? The Soul won a championship at the Wells Fargo Center. We can have no, not a. Okay, cool. Now he has to. Okay, I agree. DJ, not Embiid and Harden were embarrassing last night. That effort in the fourth quarter was embarrassing. I concur. They deserve to lose the series the way they gave up towards the end. I give a lot of credit to Doris Burke, man. She nailed it. She absolutely nailed it. Thanks, everybody on the Farzy Show chat. Let's jump over to Jacob Media, see how you guys are doing over here. Stephen Thomas, where was Harris? It's over. Good morning. Good morning to you. Stephen Thomas. Harris was invisible. Harris was great defensively. Harris was wonderful defensively. Everything else, terrible. Terrible. Everything else was bad. Bad. Very bad. Evil. Evil. It was evil is what it was. King Pooty TV. Damn. Mint Diggity. That was annoying. Sixers in 7 bay. All right. I need that positivity in my life. Kevin Washington. Tobias Harris has to go. Kevin Washington, Doc has to go. Everybody must go. Jerry P., why do we ever think this team is going to display any heroics? Haven't we watched Philly sports enough, especially this Sixers team long enough? Can't wait until it's over on Game 7. You know, like I said, I'm just ready to get hurt again. I'm ready to get hurt again. Let me get you down here there, DJ. Oh, Jeff. What's up, Jeff? Game 7 is extremely entertaining, so at least we got that going despite the tragic loss. Salute to everyone. Big Neff Network. What's going on? Nice to see you guys. Appreciate you. Mintiggity, I got you. Jerry P., I got you. Yeah, I can't. I'll never learn my lesson. I up until Game 6, before Game 6, I was like, Celtics are still going to win this series. I don't have a lot of confidence that the Sixers are going to win this series. but I have the most confidence I've had. And then they go in the game 6, and I'm like, they got this. They're going to win this. Like, come on. Joel Embiid's getting better and better as the series goes on. Of course they're going to win this. Celtics showed why they're the better team. K. Riley, hello again. Embiid doesn't put up 50. They lose. That's simple. I'm with you. He needs to have an insanely good game. Yep, I agree. Yeah. All right, Mint Diggity. This year feels different. Not over. I hope so. Mint Diggity, I predicted 7 games. Celtics won't go away easy. Sixers in 7, baby. Mint Diggity, last one. We got this, fam. I hope we got this. Because, I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to do a depressing show on Friday. And I know, guys, I'm sorry. I do, as the game's going on and right after the game, I'm so focused on what's going to be said after the game that I don't really emotionally process it. Probably until this morning. And even before I was on the show, I went back and I always watch the highlights of a big game before I do the show just to put myself mentally back in it. And that's where I can emotionally invest a little bit more. It starts to really register that they lost, and they lost in such a tragic way. So I'm watching the highlights of the game again before the show, and I'm just like, you're open on that shot. You clank it. You're open in the corner, and you clank it. You have Embiid, calling for the ball down low. You're not giving it to him, and Tatum's going off again. And now that's right, you were up 2 going to the fourth quarter. You were down as much as 16 in this game in total. They came back to lose. That's always the worst. And then, I crack open the mic and I'm in this state of mind where I should have just watched my favorite outtakes from Will Ferrell movies to put me in a better mood. And it's just not there. And it's one of those situations where if this was a first round loss, in terms of a first round game loss, I'd be pissed. I'd be angry. If this was a regular season game you were supposed to win against the Celtics and you were lead, I'd be more pissed. You know where I am mentally? And I think everyone knows this. It's the feeling of your parents aren't pissed at you. Your parents aren't angry with you. Your parents aren't frustrated with you. What are mom and dad? Mom and dad are disappointed. That's where I'm at right now. Sixers, I'm not angry. I'm disappointed. I'm just really disappointed. Tomorrow I'll be angry. Tomorrow I'll go through the next stage of being disappointed and be like, God damn it, son of a bitch, and I'll be really angry. But right now I want to cry. Oh, my goodness gracious. Scoozy. Is that still up? No, it's not still up? Okay. Dan Schwartz. Ben Simmons vibes at the end. Gross. Makes me physically ill. Yeah, I'd say. Physically ill. It's a good word for it. Let me just do this for a second. You heard Joel Embiid earlier in the game. You heard Joel Embiid earlier in the show, talk about how they know what they need to do in the next game. They need to go up to Boston. They know what they need to do. They need to win. Sixers need to be in a situation here where they're a dominant basketball team. Sixers need to do the thing that they were able to do in the 2 previous games that they won in Boston. Multiple people have to go off in these games. And if you look at James Harden's track record in this series, it's been great game, bad game, great game, bad game. This was a bad game. So if the trend continues, James Harden's going to go off in Game 7. Here's what I need to see in Game 7. Here are the thoughts I'll leave you with. In Game 7 of this series, I need to see exactly what I saw in Game 5. I need to see Joel Embiid look like the guy that we had waited for him to mature into, which is an actual MVP. And we have seen that over the last 3 years of the season of his career, being an MVP candidate, an MVP caliber player, being in the top 2. Jokic, by the way, makes it to a conference final. Good for him. But the way I look at it is that Joel Embiid has to dominate. Best player on the floor has to dominate for 4 quarters of basketball. And he's got to be demanding the ball down low. He's got to be hitting his shots from the outside. He's got to be getting Celtics in foul trouble by getting N1s in the paint. He has got to be dominant in every way, shape, or form. And when you talk about a defensive performance from Joel Embiid, good God, has he been dominant in this series as a defensive player. He has been fantastic on the defensive end of the court for the Sixers. That has been probably the most consistent part of his game. And that is not going to be denied. That is going to be how he's going to play in Game 7, without question. But offensively, he has to be the guy leading the charge. And then right after him, Tyrese Maxey, James Harden, you guys have to absolutely 1 billion% step up. And Joel Embiid mentioned that after the game about other guys having to step up, and everyone has to step up. Everyone's got to do the step-up thing and play a lot better than what they played in Game 6. James Harden, I'm looking right at you. Tyrese Maxey going off in Game 5 the way he did is fantastic. 6 threes for him is fantastic. But James Harden, the veteran player, the one-time MVP, the scoring champion, James Harden needs to be what you saw in Game 1, needs to be what you saw in Game 4, needs to be even what you saw in Game 5. Being able to distribute, being able to pick his spots, having guys collapse on him, opening up opportunities for other guys. James Harden needs to be that good. Maxey, Harris, whoever it might be, somebody else needs to step up as a third scorer. It might even be Maxey as the number 2 guy and Harden as the number 3 guy like you saw in Game 5. But end to end, this has to be where you empty the tank. I have a lot of confidence in whoever the Sixers would face in the Eastern Conference Finals that they can win that series. But it's all going to be for naught if you don't win this Game 7. Everyone understands it's do or die. Everyone win or go home. There's every cliche that you overuse throughout the season. It applies to Game 7. There is legacy riding on this Game 7. The Celtics, I think they know their future. The Sixers' future is very much up in the air. Because you lose this game, Harden might not be back. Tobias Harris might be back if Harden's not. We could be going through a transition here with a 29-year-old Joel Embiid. Going to be 30 during the season next year. And that just makes everyone have that vomit taste in their mouth. The Sixers now go into Sunday's game with not just this series on the line, but the immediate future of this 76ers organization on the line. And that's a horrifying thought. That's a dreadful thought. Because we have already gone through our period here in Philadelphia of unknowing. We've gone through a period of absolutely knowing the Sixers are going to be terrible in the process years. And then we went through this. Well, what are we going to get from Joel Embiid? Is he going to be in shape? Is he going to be healthy? We certainly went through our unknowing of Ben Simmons. Oh, look, he's working out in the offseason. Maybe he'll hit threes. He's not hitting threes. I don't want to go into another realm of unknowing. I want to know that I at least have a second-round playoff team. You go into next year, you go into the offseason, I don't know what Daryl Morey's going to do. I don't even know who the coach is going to be for certain going into next year. James Harden's probably going to be back in Houston. You lose this game. It is bonkers to me the point you are at with this Sixers squad, because it's not just about Game 7 and win or go home. It's Game 7, win or possibly reset the franchise again. And I'm not talking about a complete overhaul, a complete rebuild. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, all right, you got Embiid. You got Maxey. PJ Tucker with that money, he's coming back too. So who's going to be the other cog in the wheel? It's more than just this playoff series on the line. I mean, it's the most important thing, win or go home, obviously. But the implications after this, if you do lose, it's not just about being out in the second round again in another Game 7, a third Game 7 in the Embiid era. It's about, oh, God, where do we go from here? What direction do the Sixers go from here? That is a horrifying thought. Because to go back into uncertainty, ooh, baby. That is, without question, the vomit taste in the mouth. That's terrible. Sunday, 3:30, I saw. Yeah, good times. Phillies back at an 8:40 start time against the Colorado Rockies tonight. They start a 3-game series in Colorado, then a 3-game series San Francisco Giants. So that'll be going down. Tonight, I'll be with you guys again on the Jacob Media YouTube channel for the Phillies post-game show. So make sure you guys check that out, please, and thank you. Going up in this game for the Phillies to start things out on this 6-game road trip, you'll see Taijuan Walker get the ball against Austin Gomber. Taijuan Walker coming off his best start of the season for the Phillies, allowing just 3 hits, 1 run, 3 hits. The 1 run was a solo home run. He went 6 innings against the Boston Red Sox in the game you were able to win against the Boston Red Sox. So he bounced back well from his 8-run performance in the previous start. So that's that. Thanks for. Oh, also 11:30 today. Keith Elaine Jones, Danny Briere introduced officially as the general manager and president of hockey operations of the Philadelphia Flyers, respectively. Danny Briere, the GM. Keith Elaine Jones, the president of hockey operations for the Philadelphia Flyers organization. I know I said a lot about it yesterday. I tweeted about it as well. Jonesy's excelled in every role. He's been a great goofball on the radio, great funny man on the radio, took that to the nth degree and became a great broadcaster at the national level, really knows the league. I don't bet against Keith Jones. As I said on Twitter yesterday, even though I think I spelled the wrong role, I don't bet against Jonesy. I don't bet against the guy with a lot of talent and a great work ethic. And that's something that I know isn't a popular thing to talk about with Jonesy because, you know, goofballs are just supposed to be goofy. They're not supposed to have this great, serious, and stern work ethic. But, like, Jonesy, when he got the job on the national level, I told you guys yesterday about how hard he worked to get that job, how hard he studied to get that job. And then you're talking about a guy that would go up to Connecticut, like do a morning show, get in a car, go up to Connecticut, whatever that could be, like a 3-hour drive that time of the day, stay all day up there, do the national games, come back, do another morning show, and do that at least twice a week. Yeah, man. That's a guy who's not afraid to work. And making this Flyers franchise relevant again, that's something. I do wonder what's going to happen with this one thing. This one thought popped into my head yesterday. Keith Jones, as we all know, was he was at WIP, I think, for 15 years in total. I was there 13. I think he was there for at least 2 years before that. And Jonesy going in to do radio at WIP, lifelong WIP guy. Now he is the president of hockey operations for a franchise whose radio station is 97.5 The Fanatic. So one thing I was thinking, I was like, is Jonesy going to start going on The Fanatic, which is, you know, what his job would dictate? Or would Jonesy be putting in for WIP to get the Flyers back? Now, I don't know if WIP would even want the Flyers back because they have what's known as the Golden Goose, the Golden Geese with the Phillies and Eagles. Not a heck of a lot of competition there, though. If you didn't want to get the Flyers back on WIP, that'd be obviously a really good thing for the Flyers. So it's an interesting thing with what the implications of this could be in the radio world. Just something to think about. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys... Fuji, yes, he did save Eric Lindros. And I'm going to go ahead and steal Jonesy's line. We all make mistakes. I think Jonesy told this story publicly, so I'll just tell it again real quick. When Eric Lindros got into the Flyers Hall of Fame, Lindros told him, he's like, I'm mentioning and thanking you that you saved my life. And Jonesy goes, don't you dare. If you do, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to say my line. And he's like, Eric, you know what my line is. And Eric goes, I know what your line is. And his line is, whenever somebody mentions, Jonesy, you saved Eric Lindros' life, Jonesy always goes, we all make mistakes. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, everybody. Everyone on the Farzy Show YouTube channel, everyone there on the Jacob Media YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys most humbly. Thank you. Everybody on the podcast as well. Thanks. Appreciate you. Jim Heidenproof's program did a wonderful job as per usual. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show presented by Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. One place, one price, perfect price online at IHateStevenSinger.com. I'll be back with you guys on Monday, and basically maybe if I'm depressed or angry or happy enough, maybe we'll do a post-game show on Sunday to reflect on the Sixers season. Thanks, everyone. Have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all you beautiful moms. And sports-wise, I know not a lot of moms would go out and hit fly balls to their sons, but my mom did that all the time. Big sports nut, Eleanor Farzetta is. Love you, Mom. Thanks for everything. Have a great weekend, everybody. And love to all your mothers. See ya.